those that have been here before, I'm going to be your MC again tonight. We are so proud to be doing this for 5 years in a row. I'm the president of Angels Without Wings, which is the nonprofit that spearheaded the dedication of 6 national monuments to Sergeant Reckless, the Korean War Horse hero. And we also have 2 monuments. We put one in for K9 MWT Luga, one in Texas, and I'm happy to say that U.S. War Dogs is putting in a second monument to Luga on Thursday to honor her. The Animals of War and Peace organization has been part of Angels Without Wings since 2018, and we are so grateful to be here tonight. My co-hosts tonight are Mary Lou Livingood of the Livingood Group and Chris Willingham of the U.S. War Dogs Association, and you'll hear from them in a moment. Tonight we honor 7 canines who had no voice and no choice, but have served so valiantly for our country in war and peace. And it's in honoring them and remembering their stories that we pay tribute to the men and the women that serve so valiantly alongside of them. Tonight we will award 3 dogs with our Animals of War and Peace Medal of Bravery. Sadly, all of our Medal of Bravery recipients will be posthumous, but the incredible news about all 4 of them is that they all serve in some branch of the U.S. Army at some point in their careers. So that's pretty awesome. And we have quite a few Army Working Dog supporters here in the audience tonight, so that's really great as well. So thank you all for joining us. And before you all leave tonight, please be sure to look at the amazing artifacts over here that we have of the animals. And people have been so emotional when they actually see, especially those that aren't with us here, to really kind of touch them and feel them, and feel their presence as part of this wonderful celebration of what they do. So I'd like to introduce, I don't see the Reverend Mary Lou. Does she come in? Okay, well, sadly the chaplain has not been able to make it tonight, so we will move on from that. So I'd like everybody to then stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic Good job here. That's wonderful. So once again, we're here to celebrate, recognize, and honor our canine warriors at this time of year, because Thursday, March 13th, is National Canine Veterans Day, a day set aside to honor and commemorate the service and sacrifices of American military and working dogs throughout history. It was on March 13, 1942, during World War II, that the Army began training for its new war dog program, and it was called Canine Corps, and marking the first time that dogs were officially part of U.S. Armed Forces. So Thursday marks the 83rd anniversary when the Canine Corps began. And in honor of Canine Veterans Day, I'd like to recognize 4 past recipient dog handlers who are with us here tonight, each one from our previous ceremonies. So fellas, when I call your name, if you wouldn't mind standing so we can recognize you. From our first ceremony in 2019, Chris Willingham, MWT Luga, Medal of Bravery number 6. From our 2022 ceremony, we have Marshall Malarkey for Canine Hurricanes Heroes, DSM, Distinguished Service Medal number 1. And we want to throw out a condolences to Marshall. We lost hurricane a couple of months ago, and so we really feel your pain tonight. In 2023, we have Travis Harrison for K9K, Medal of Bravery number 15. And from 2024, K9 Cody is in the house herself with her dog handler, James Overton, of course. So they're present with us again. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Right now, I'd like to call up Mary Lou Livingood, president of the Livingood Group in Washington, D.C., and selection committee member of Animals of War and Peace. She has been with us since 2018 and has worked closely with members of Congress on our past resolutions.
Thank you, Lauren. really been an honor and privilege for the last 8 years to work towards recognizing our American animal heroes, their handlers and their families. Thank you so much. The Animals in War and Peace Medal ceremony started with the support and encouragement from the late Senator John Warner of Virginia in 2018. Senator Warner's legacy continues to inspire us today to recognize our service animals for their acts of resolute and fearless defense of America's freedom and peace. Since 2018, members of Congress have helped us to recognize these brave animals. Just yesterday, March 10th, the third House resolution was introduced to the Committee on Armed Services by Congresswoman Julia Brownlee of California. The resolution acknowledges the importance of honoring our brave animals' valor and achievements in protecting and serving our country. It is my great honor to recognize the members of Congress who join us tonight to celebrate their achievements. We are so grateful for their extraordinary support and their time, especially today, and by presenting medals to our animal heroes. I want to recognize Congressman Jeff Van Drew, who was one of the first members today to join on the House resolution sponsored by Julia Brownlee. And we do want to mention that Congressman Donald Norcross of New Jersey will be joining us, Congressman Gus Malracus of Florida, obviously Congressman Van Drew will take the first medalist, and Congresswoman Jennifer Higgins of Virginia will be joining us. So it will be kind of a flow since the House vote on the continuing resolution is taking place this afternoon. So bear with us, we're going to have to move some things around, but we are so honored that Congressman Van Drew can be here with us right now. So thank you.
General Sarah Albright, 20th Provost Marshal General, Commanding General of Army Corrections Command. Sergeant Major Sean Klosterman, Provost Sergeant Major, Army Corrections Command. Sergeant Major Viri Diana Lavalier, U.S. Army Military Working Dog Program Manager. And Colonel Griffin Merrill, 7th Special Forces Group Airborne, Deputy Commander of the 7th Special Forces Group. Welcome and thank you all for being here. This is just truly an honor. The dogs we're honoring tonight represent the hundreds of military law enforcement and volunteer agencies who unselfishly serve and protect our communities every day. And we're actually offering a new award this year. It's an Exceptional Service Award, and it's going to Stubby, the World War I dog. And this recognition is for those animals that don't quite qualify for the Medal of Bravery or the Distinguished Service Medal, but they do deserve some recognition. It is the Animals in War and Peace Exceptional Service Award, and the first one going to Stubby, who was a World War I canine, was the unofficial mascot in the Army's 102nd Infantry Regiment, and assigned to the 26th Yankee Infantry Division. He was nominated by Connecticut National Guard. Stubby's story is legendary, and he was first injured by mustard gas. After he recovered from that, he learned how to warn his troops of mustard gas attacks. He also located wounded soldiers in no man's land, and since he could hear the whine of incoming artillery shells before humans, he became very adept at alerting his unit to duck to cover. So he was solely responsible for capturing a German spy. So we are honored tonight for Stubby to be the very first recipient of this new award. Sadly, Representative of the Coast Guard from the National Guard couldn't be with us tonight, but his certificate is over on the table and you can check it out. But he's Army, so I get that too. So our first medal tonight, we're going to jump right in and do thank yous later. So our first medal tonight is going to be a Distinguished Service Medal. And our Distinguished Service Medal is presented to an animal to recognize distinguished and exceptionally meritorious service in the performance of their duties. This medal is awarded to an animal trained to provide a service to the military or first responders. They must distinguish themselves by extraordinary service and heroism, not justified by a bravery award. To justify this award, exceptional performance and duty, clearly above that normally expected, which has contributed materially to the success of a unit, command, or department. The medal is also warranted for sustained superior performance throughout the course of their duties. And of course, this exemplifies our first DSM medalist tonight, K9 of Gear. So Colleen, if you could go to slide 23 to K9 Gear. I can't see the thing. Is the slide up? Got it. Thank you. Let's see. So K9 Gear of Vineland, New Jersey Police Department. Gear retired from duty in August of 2022 after 9 years of faithful service. Here is his wonderful story.
My name is Louis Latania. I'm a retired police sergeant with the Atlanta City Police Department, New Jersey. This is my retired canine partner, Gear. Gear is a German Shepherd. He comes from the Netherlands, and we were here together in December of 2013. Gear is trained in both patrol and narcotics. He's patrol-wise, he detects human motor, tracking, apprehension, everything has to do with the drive. So his greatest strength is there's nothing that compares to the dog. Our typical day at work, being a Gear, we get up in the morning, primarily day shift time. As soon as he saw my uniform on, he knew what time it was time to work. And he knew what time it was when he came home. Getting into police work, I always wanted to be a canine officer. It's one of the things I sought out to do. Little did I know, getting partnered with such an extraordinary dog would be life-changing. What he means to me is that I'm able to spend every single day with my wife and kids. The Gear absolutely loved being in the spotlight. So naturally laid out was one of his favorites. He would go out there and do his thing, jump down the car, run down after the guy with the sleeve. He loved going to school demonstrations. I would bring him to all these elementary schools in town. They were reading about police law, police canines. I would show them what police canine, and the kids would come up and feel a pedal, which was really amazing that he was such a headstrong dog that going to work, he just knew I need to go. Don't approach me, but in a school setting, he knew, all right, these kids are all my friends. And, during a year's time on the road, we were paired up. We helped the U.S. Marshals, FBI, DEA, state police, and surrounding jurisdictions here, both for narcotics and for patrol purposes. Some of the incidents that stand out in my mind are back and forth to 15, a Gear and I were on the road, and we encountered a subject, or I encountered a subject, where we ended up getting into a physical altercation. That subject was able to actually get up and handle me, and was able to grab my hand with both. Gear was let go out of our car, and he came immediately to my aid, apprehended the suspect, and was able to actually help take one of his hands off my handgun. I tried everything I could, and it wasn't until Gear showed up that I was able to actually break free from the suspect, and we were ultimately able to put him in handcuffs. Another incident that comes to mind is back in September of 2016, being a Gear working overtime shift, and during that time, we heard on the radio struggle with a couple of our officers. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever heard on the radio was hearing them screaming for help. I immediately jumped in my police car with the Gear. Another officer jumped in with us. We drove right to the residence, and as we pulled up, the sergeant was on me, called for a canine. Without hesitation, I grabbed the Gear by his black collar and ran into the residence. As I was walking into the residence, one of the officers I was involved in the struggle snapped in the face. He was walking out of the residence covered with blood. I immediately went into the bathroom with the Gear and saw them fighting on the ground with the suspect. I gave the Gear to the man to apprehend, which he did, at which time they were able to put handcuffs on the suspect. And that's one of the awards that he got for his actions while there's
And tonight we are so very proud to award K9 Gear with the Animals of War and Peace Distinguished Service Medal number 9. Congratulations, Gear, for your distinguished service with the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department. Such a good boy.
Let me just say a few words first. I always loved dogs my entire life, and in fact, to be honest with you, I've had either shepherds or shepherd mixes my entire life. So, my life has been one of perpetually having dog hair on my carpet, dog hair on my suits, dog hair on just about everything I own. Anybody who's had dogs, especially shepherds, can relate to that. They're special. Dogs are special. Unconditional love. I guess that's the word. You can have a bad day in the office, a bad day at home, a tough day at work. They're always with you. They love you, and they're there to help you. It's an amazing symbiosis. It's an amazing attachment that human beings have with dogs. It's interesting now, just as an aside, just my own story. So we've had at the most 4 shepherds. Mike, you know that, I told you that before. And it's great to see the folks from Hurricane Zeros here, which is a whole separate thing. I hope we will talk about that and learn a little bit more about it later. Before I forget, it's just like our veterans. We have to make sure that when these dogs have done their service, when they've spent their time, when they've made their sacrifices, that we remember them and that we take care of them and just don't discard them and forget about them. And that's what Hurricane Zeros is about, so it's a good thing. I'm proud of the work that you do. So I have a shepherd right now. Usually I have 2, 3, or 4, but I have 1 right now. And we run hard to get out in the country. We have some acreage. He's running real hard, and his leg got caught underneath a little tree and shattered with our elbow really badly. They tried to do titanium implants, didn't work. So right now I have a tripod of a shepherd. He's doing great. He runs hard, he plays, he's happy. It's amazing. Unlike us, we would be like this forever. We would be so upset about it. It's like, okay, I got 3 legs, I can deal with it. Move on. Let's have some fun. Let's go outside. I don't have the words to say how much I respect the work that our law enforcement, our military does, and that these animals, they're part of the team. I don't have to tell you, here they are. I'm proud to say that Vineland, New Jersey is in my district, and I'm proud of the work that you all do. I'm proud of the work that you all do, and it's just as good to be here with you.
get some good press. Right? Not used to that, used to negative press, but I'll take it. Billy Montague, his wife Christy, he picked this dog. He was in charge of the unit, and brought me on. And I'd like to say I put my major proud. Chief, Captain Scarborough, Cito, you guys are brothers to me, I appreciate it. Tommy, hey, you believe it? This is a lot for me. I just, Paul's of Honor, Hurricanes Heroes, Marshall Hurricanes Heroes, just went to an event of his and told him a couple of my stories. And he was like, it sounds like you should, the dog should get an award for that. Fight with somebody over PCP is no joke. He gave me a run for my money and almost didn't get out of that. The dog did exactly what he was supposed to do. So thank you guys for everything, and I appreciate this. Cool.
Thank you. This is just wonderful for you to be here. We're really grateful. So we're going to be jumping around. Our next medalist. Well, can we do the invocation next, or should we do? Okay. So the chaplain has joined us. It's gotta go. It's good. Okay. Good. Chaplain Boone Kivin is going to give the invocation. Nice to have you back with us. This is like your third or fourth ceremony with us.
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful opportunity to be a part of this, and I'm very grateful for all that you all do. I'm also very grateful that I have the opportunity to give thanks on your behalf to our Creator. Would you pray with me? God of all creation, that you would bless us with the privilege of sharing our days, our work, and our play in the companionship of these service animals. It's a grace gift that keeps on giving. To be the witnesses of their devotion to duty and the recipients of their loyal dedication has given us both pride and pleasure time and again. We need only look into their soulful eyes and discover the very special connection you have allowed us to share. A connection that knows no limits, responds to all needs, and defends against all threats. In them we are blessed with insight into your limitless love for us, your ever-ready presence in times of trouble, the hedge of protection you promise us in the face of all uncertainty. Many may say this is an overstatement, an exaggeration of the natural inclinations of these animals. They're just doing their job. But when you created these animals we honor today, you erased all doubt that these dogs were designed to serve as a special reminder of your abiding presence and your steadfast love. May this ceremony serve somehow to speak into the souls of these warriors and reward them with our deep gratitude for their example, not just of duty, but of devotion, not just of obligation, but gallantry, and not just service, but sacrifice. Bless each one of these dogs, that they would know of the reward that you offer them through the care and the love of those who handle them and all who love them. It's in your eternal name we pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you again for joining us. All right, so our next medalist is going to be Mr. Warner. Switched up again. Number 13. Slide number 13. Mr. Warner worked for the Springfield, Massachusetts Police Department for 8 years before he retired in December 2021. Here's the very special story about Mr. Warner.
My name is Eric Blair. I'm with the Springfield, Massachusetts Police Department. My call sign is K94, and I'm with retired K9 Mr. Warner. I worked with Mr. Warner from November of 2014 to December of 2021. So Mr. Warner is he's a Belgian Malinois and Shepherd mix. He was imported from Hungary. He got his name through an essay contest that was given to Warner School.
Where did Mr. Warner come from?
You know, I thought by having his history would be a distinguished name for him. It's very popular in the community. We did a lot of canine demos for all the areas in city. We go to Warner School every year and visit all the kids that help name him. He received a Dakin Humane Society Award for just in general his whole career after all the highlights of his career, over 30 guns. The guns that he found numerous narcotics on calls. A couple that come to light are home invasion that was up in the Forest Park City, sector of the city, and we got a call that 3 armed suspects had broken into a house and they pistoled with the woman, and she had a serious eye injury, so we was sent Warner and ended up apprehending all 3 suspects, placed them under arrest, found lots of drugs and guns. That was one of them, and then the second one was a man retired. He went after a suspect that fired at officers and broke into a home in the city, and he deployed him into the house he had broken into. He located the suspect on the 3rd floor hiding in the closet. He also found the fire magazines.
Springfield Police with a K-9.
One right there.
Yes. K-9 6. Come on, you got it. Springfield Police with a K-9.
He retired 2 hours later. 2 weeks after retirement, he got real sick. One of his hips got this big mass had grown on it, and he was looking at 3 surgeries at $8,000 of surgery costs. And at that time, it was a lot of money, and the community stepped in and they did a GoFundMe, and they raised enough money to take care of him and treat him and make sure he had a healthy, happy retirement. Nero's law was put into motion with Massachusetts because of medical staff could not transport animals if they were injured while working.
I mean, that doesn't just make sense to a normal person. If there's a canine that's injured, they just couldn't treat him, they just had to leave him, and it was up to the officer to get him the proper care.
At that point, yes, because of mass law, they could not treat these animals. They had to be treated. We would grab these dogs and throw them in our cruisers and try to get there as fast as we can, and somehow try to give them medical care in between. And we were losing a lot of dogs. Warner, he assisted with numerous medical agencies throughout Western Mass and even Eastern Mass. We're training all their techs into how to care for these dogs if they were to be wounded while working. I want to say probably over maybe 1,500 people that he's trained in his retirement, and so it's a good law. I'm glad it was passed, and it saves one dog. For me, it means, all the hard work and dedication that this dog gave his body and everything to the city of Springfield, and he was one of the most successful dogs in the department, and it just means a lot for him to be able to be recognized, to be an ambassador to the city of Springfield for all his hard work and to put Springfield on the map in Washington as how great our canine unit is and what we strive for in these animals.
Mr. Warner assisted in hundreds of arrests in his 8-year career, including but not limited to over 30 firearms cases, narcotics cases, armed robberies, and assisted multiple law enforcement agencies, including the Massachusetts State Police. He is the most decorated canine in the history of his department and has received multiple local and national awards throughout his career. Even in retirement, Mr. Warner continues to serve his community. And today, we are incredibly proud and honored to award Mr. Warner with the Animals in War and Peace Distinguished Service Medal No. 8. Congratulations, Mr. Warner, for your dedication, love of your community, and distinguished service with the Springfield, Massachusetts Police Department.
Served in the New Jersey State Senate, I had the honor of giving the award for retirement to a police dog in Kansas City that had the most arrests in the history of the state of New Jersey. So today, we're doing that once again to, they call them service dogs, but I call them companions. We understand that bond between human and dogs. And after reading and hearing his stories, obviously, he has one of those also. Highly trained, saving lives both back home. We understand what dogs mean to us. They are working, but so are their handlers, so are we. But the love and connection, and if any of you have ever driven over to the Capitol, we have one every time we go and make sure that we're safe. So we see that day in and day out. So on behalf of the Great Relation, I'd like to present this to Mr. Warner, who apparently had the right size. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but I have a challenge. You do that?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much.
Sorry for that. I've been battling with wolves. Bear with me. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to the animals in War and Peace, as well as Robert Hutton, and all of the staff that made this possible. I'd like to thank Paz of Honor, Hurricanes Heroes, for helping with Warner's vet bills. It helps out so much. What a beautiful ceremony. I can't thank you enough. Thank you, everyone. I would like to also express my gratitude to my family and friends, especially my wife Carmela and daughters Evelyn and Lillian. They were so supportive of me throughout my canine career. I come home late at a rough day. They were always there. You understood. I missed out on big events, but it was for a good cause. So thank you for always being there besides me and supporting me through that. I'd like to express my gratitude to Cheryl Blackwood. She was my ex-commissioner. She retired. Superintendent. She always supported me over the years. She got my start at K9, and she always made sure I had what I needed to make my job successful and successful on the street and for the city of Springfield. Throughout my 10 years at K9, she was always there for me, and I can't thank her enough for making this trip. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to the city of Springfield, Mayor Dominic Sarno, as well as Springfield Police Department for all the support they offered me for 3 years. Throughout Mr. Warner's career, he was an excellent partner. He was always by my side, and remains so to this day. With all the trials and tribulations, Mr. Warner has shown himself to be one of the finest canine officers to ever work for the city of Springfield. Mr. Warner officially retired in December 2021. He continued to work as a trainer and advocate for Nero's Law. Nero's Law was passed after a canine handler was killed in Cape Cod. He was serving a search warrant and he was shot. The handler passed and his partner was actually, he was injured in the line of duty. And at that time, Massachusetts couldn't send any AMR staff or medical staff to transport these dogs to vet them in proper care, so it was all the handlers. So we fought for this law to get passed, and it's now passed. In addition to Nero's Law, Warner's actually been assisting with Dakota's Law. We're trying to get that passed, so all these dogs, when they retire, they get the proper medical care they need. You know, they should have it, because their bills do rack up after they retire with all the medical costs. So we're trying to get that passed in Massachusetts, that they'll have support when they retire. So under Dakota's law, the state will provide financial assistance for retired canines for all their medical needs throughout their life. In addition to being an honor for myself, this is an honor for the future canines in the world, and it's an honor and a privilege I will never forget. My thoughts and prayers with all the working and non-working canines in our handlers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Good job there, buddy. themselves by displaying gallantry and acts of valor within the performance of their duties. There must be no margin of doubt or possibility of error in awarding this honor. To justify the award, the animal's performance must clearly be rendered conspicuous above their expectations by an act so outstanding it clearly distinguishes their gallantry beyond the call of duty from lesser forms of bravery. The act of execution of bravery must be performed in the presence of great danger or at great risk, and must be performed in such a manner as to set them apart from their fellow working service animals. As you will see from our 4 medalists this evening, there's no doubt that describes their services. So, the first Medal of Bravery tonight is going to be for MPC Luca, X496. MPC, and that's slide 26, Colleen, got it, great, thank you. MPC Luca was with the Army's 7th Special Forces Group Airborne, and then the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office in Mississippi. Luca was killed in action on February 21st, 2024, while serving with the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office, but his actions saved the lives of his handler and other surrounding officers. Here is his story.
My name is Paul Leslie. I'm a lieutenant in the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office in Mississippi. I'm with the K-9 unit, and I'm also the trainer there. We got K-9 Luca after he retired from the 7th Special Forces Group after over 5 years of service. And he came to us. I was able to continue to serve here in DeSoto County, where he served with his handler, Sergeant B. Cook. I first met Luca several years ago at a joint training session with the 7th Special Forces Group. I killed right away there in the training. Luke was very strong, very serious dog, especially in the patrol category. He's been on multiple high-risk missions for some high-value targets. In one particular encounter, Luke and his group encountered an enemy machine gun, just absolutely wreaked havoc on the battlefield, which claimed some of the lives of some of the soldiers that were there with him. During this encounter, Luke fearlessly grabbed his hammer by the arm and drove to the ground as the bullets from the machine gun impacted all around, and he actually drove his hand up and tried to kill someone. In a moment, Lou's immediate action, 100%, saved the life of his handler. A few short years later, Lou retired from the 7th Group, and we were able to adopt him to the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office.
I'm Sergeant Cook with the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office. I had the privilege of being Luca's K-9 handler. Luca was a Dutch Shepherd. Him and I were certified in explosive detection and patrol work. Here in DeSoto County, we have a lot of patrol, and I would consider tracking one of the strong points. And we did a lot of that, tracking violent criminals and suspects. There's times where we're working the streets and working patrol, and then other times where we're deployed as special division, whether fugitive or detective divisions. And there was nothing that Luca wasn't prepared to do. It didn't matter what came across the radio, what we were tasked with as their
On February 21st, 2024, some of our patrol deputies encountered a violent armed felon in a vehicle pursuit again. The suspect dangerously drove down a busy highway. The deputies were able to stop sticks to flat the tires. The tactical vehicle intervention maneuver was performed, which spun the vehicle out. Once they performed the vehicle intervention, the suspect barricaded the car, and he refused to come out. The suspect had a long criminal history of violence. Sergeant Cook and I, we responded to the scene, and the windows of the vehicle were breached after we got there, and Luca was released. We went into the car, and he apprehended the suspect. Luca was doing an absolutely amazing job as he fought the suspect inside the car. Incredibly, I started to see Luca drag the suspect out of the car. Inch by inch, he was coming out with it. As Luca was bringing the suspect out of the car, the suspect fired toward us. As soon as the shot broke, obviously it was startling, but I saw the shockwave go through Luca as he was struck by the suspect's gunfire. Sergeant Cook and I immediately snatched Luca out of the way. As we pulled Luca out of the window, deputies returned fire, killing the suspect. After doing what we can do, Sergeant Cook rushed Luca to the veterinarian's office, but Luca ultimately succumbed to his wounds. Luca's bravery in this moment, saying Sergeant Luke and I, we were just feet from the suspect's muzzle when we cranked off around our face. We took the initial assault at the gunfire, which I know saved not just our lives, but the lives of other deputies that were standing right there beside us as well. Luke instinctively put himself in harm's way without hesitation. His fierce bravery that will resonate with me as long as I live. There's a very small group of us that are going to be forever connected because of Luca. Not just because we knew him, not because we were just around his dog, but because he actually saved our lives. And for us, Luca is the symbol of bravery.
Luca was a warrior, and I'm just thankful and honored to have been able to hold relief.
In June 2024, MPC Luca was given a break next to the 7th Special Forces Group K-9 statue at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. And today, we are incredibly honored to award MPC Luca X496 with the Animals of War and Peace Medal of Bravery number 21. Thank you, Luca. Your impact and memory will live on in the hearts of the U.S. Army 7th Special Forces Group Airborne and the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office for years to come.
God bless you, Luca. Friends, please welcome MPC Luca's trainer, Lieutenant Paul Leslie from the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Luke Burkhart, Luca's handler with the 7th Special Forces Group Airborne, and Colonel Merrill Griffin, Deputy Commander of the 7th Special Forces Group Airborne at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. Unfortunately, the Congressman was not able to make it tonight, so I'm asking Chris Willingham, President of the U.S. War Dogs Association, and he's also on one of our selection committee, to come up, say a few words, and present the medal for Luca.
After 25 years working with the working dogs, I continue to find myself inspired by what these dogs are capable of, and Luca has an incredibly special story. It's very rare to have a dog that was able to serve in combat in a law enforcement mission set, and what you saw on full display was just that faithfulness, the loyalty, and the courage that our canines demonstrate to us. Absolutely incredible special canine, and just an honor being a part of this ceremony, y'all. And for the dogs who are no longer with us, we just say never above you, never below you, always beside you. And it is my distinct honor to present the medal of bravery to the honor of MPC Luca's service and sacrifice.
For those that answered the call to go and serve, we realized real quick there's only so much we can do on our own. But when we're together and when we're paired with the lambs, what we're honoring here today, you're unwavering and unstoppable. I can't thank y'all enough. This is an amazing experience for us. We're very humbled, but great and honored to be here. We thank y'all for allowing us to accept this award on behalf of Luca. You saw him immediately. He was a warrior
Service Medal number 10. K-9 Mata just retired from the Wood County, Texas Constable's Office in December. And here is his wonderful story.
I'm Constable Kelly Smith, retired. This is Mata, Police K-9. Our position is obviously the constable certifications that he has. He has a patrol certification, a narcotics certification with 5 different codes, and he also has a tracking certification. We met in the fall of 2020 and have been working ever since, and we retired at the end of this last year. We've been working together across 4 different counties. Primarily, he does a lot of kids demos, a lot of training. Typical day for patrol on us is about a 12-hour shift, sometimes 16-hour shift. And just working the street, proactive patrol, where we also respond to agencies in the county and surrounding counties when they need narcotics and all, or tracking and all. He does a lot of community events, enjoys meeting with kiddos and seeing them. Spend time with them, and we also do trinkets out and work with them. He's got his expert certification in tracking about a year after he started working, and he's probably done the best in tracking through his career. We've had the most results out of tracking them small kids or bad guys. His favorite thing is hanging out with the family. Now, as you can see, he's pretty much retired. He's very social. What he likes to do, when he's working, he can actually be on apprehension as soon as he's on the way back to the truck. There's no downtime that has to be done. He's immediately, he's a rider, track, the other officers around him don't have to worry about getting bit or anything like that. What's it like working with him? It's just pretty much like a friendship. We spend so much time together anyways. My partner and I, Jeff Hammond, who's a deputy constable for me, has been with us for the whole time. He does a lot of training with us, and they have a real good camaraderie bond also, and we see that in some of our tracking events. As far as what he means to me, he's my buddy. We go just about everywhere together now when we can. As far as the DSM, the importance to the constable's office in our community, it just solidifies what he's done through his career. He's had several kid finds. Had a 12-year-old we found late one night. It was real cold at night, and they was able to locate that child, which would be bad for them to be out overnight and we found him. We had as far as the DSM award, specifically, we had a felony, barricaded felon in the local community. Another agency called us to assist. A couple agencies went to assist. Barricaded felon with a track record of evading the police, hurt kids, hurt their spouse, stuff like that. Went in and got him. We went in and got him, bad guy, in the process of the apprehension. Broke my finger, tested my knee a little bit. His dog, the bad guy's pit bull, actually attacked him on and grabbed his service harness and was pulling him out of the bathroom. Mata stayed on point. Bad guy kicked him. Obviously, Mata apprehended him and took him into custody. Probably one of our biggest battles, as you can see, in the blue ball. Probably one of our biggest battles for that and the DSM award is it solidifies what we did on that award service. But it just means a lot to the constable's office and to our community to be able to show the rest of the community how important, how big of an asset it is to this team. We really appreciate it.
During his time in service, K-9 Mata grew into a local hometown hero. For the first few years of his service, he was the only police K-9 available in his county and was the primary K-9 to respond and assist other agencies across 3 counties. Constable Smith and Mata logged in over 1,100 training hours together as a team and had over 96 deployments that were high threat, potentially violent response calls. On September 12, 2022, for their continued service overall and wonderful relationship with their community, Constable Smith and K-9 Mata received a U.S. flag that was flown over the Capitol in Washington and a certificate of special congressional recognition from Congressman Lance Curtin. And today, we are so very proud to award K-9 Mata with the Animals and War and Peace Distinguished Service Medal number 10.
Congratulations, Motto, for your wonderful dedication, devotion, and distinguished service with the Wood County, Texas Constable's Office. Please welcome K-9 Mata and Constable Kelly Smith to the front, and give another warm applause to Chris Willingham, again from the U.S. War Dogs Association, who will present the medal. Sally, Congresswoman, couldn't be here tonight.
So you're going to deal with the Marine from Alabama. Well, again, it's incredible to see these dogs' capabilities. I love to see the dog who has the full mission capable set of going from community events, going out locating lost children, and then when it's time to get dirty, he's able to get dirty. And I know you can train these dogs to a very high level, but there's some things you just can't replicate, and you just hope that when you face that unknown threat, that your dog performs, and Matt absolutely performed beyond expectations. And it is my absolute pleasure to present service.
See if you don't mind while I talk. I'll keep it quick, I promise you. Quick background, I'm wrapped up at the end of the year with a 27-year career in law enforcement. Ranging anything from the DEA task force, working undercover, police chief, FBI National Academy. I'm sure most of you sitting here could probably name off a ton of stuff that you've done, but just a quick background on me that brought me to meet Mata my last 8 years as a constable, as an elected official in Texas. But over the 27 years, I think the most recognition, second to Mata, would be my wife, Renee, Rachel, Jason, Aubrey, and Sarah, and of course my mom. They put up with so much stuff from us cops over the years, the times that we're gone, the 3 o'clock in the morning call-outs, the stuff that we have to deal with at work. We try not to bring it up. But Mata was donated to us by canineofficers.org. So he was actually gifted to us with my first dog. He was second to my first dog, Will. Juma, who passed away, she died from Addison's disease. Mata came in and took the reins and just excelled what he did. Citizens of Wood County, the leaders of Wood County, Texas, back home, when we went through our battle, I told myself from the beginning that we're going to keep this positive, but when they tried to put me in prison for 3.5 years, and 11.5 years when we went to trial for doing our job and apprehending a felon, after a 5-day trial, we won, because the truth came out. And I look at all of our officers and our veterans and realize that every time we use of force, be it minor or major events, we are scrutinized to the highest level, and it's not the way it's supposed to be. We're out there doing our job with a code of ethics and a code of morals and upholding our oath. And I look at all of these veterans. I'm a Marine, don't hold it against me, but I'm a commandant of our Marine Corps League detachment back home. And as veterans, we know that's a family that we expect to have in law enforcement, and it's a family we have in law enforcement. But we have to stand with each other. I've had the opportunity through our battle over that year to minister and talk to so many people, officers and veterans, that go through the same thing. They're being scrutinized, they're being indicted, they're being drugged through the mud and on the media. Their families are paying the price. Our families didn't sign up for this. We did to an extent, and we have to stand with our brothers and sisters as we do our jobs that our country calls us to do. I want to thank our 2 training groups that I trained with back home, Tyler in Sulphur Springs. Cody Skipper and his team, that was my defense team. And we battled what we called the Gremlins, and we won because we stood up for what was right. But so many of our brothers and sisters say, oh, well, I'm just going to plea because I don't want to go to the battle. If you're right, what's God tell us to do? Stand. And when you've done all else you can do, stand. And that's what we did. But I'm humbled to be among such amazing K-9 heroes. I'm looking at some SF guys here that I completely and totally respect. Y'all been to the wall. And hats off to y'all. We are so outclassed in this category and humbled just being up here and having the opportunity for Robin to present us with this and this amazing organization that we didn't even know existed. But what a great organization it is, and their mission is phenomenal. Many don't understand the loyalty that we have in our dogs. Some pet owners make them relate, but when you spend day in and day out with these dogs, you bleed with them, you sweat with them, you train with them, there's nothing like it. And the only bad part is they just don't live long enough. But sometimes I wish they lived longer than us if they could make it easier. We've been able to use these experiences to teach other officers and continually certify other K-9s. The irony in this is going through the battle we did, standing up here with Mata, receiving a medal, and they also made us certifying officials for other K-9s across the nation. So as I'm sitting certifying these officers, and they know my backstory, they know the trials and tribulations we went through, I just hope that we can use just a small piece of that so that they can learn from our experiences. Handlers, thank you for your dedication. Families, thank you for supporting your handlers. And God bless you.
And so what I'm going to do is jump back and thank some of Pardon me? Oh, Congressman Kibbitz is in the house. All right. Hi. Awesome. Well, why don't we do this? Because I know time is important. We will go ahead and Is your time tight, or can you wait a minute, or you're good? Okay, thank you. All right, so why don't we go ahead and sorry about this, folks. We're going to do CAD Spider next, okay? Slide number 17. Our next Medal of Bravery this evening goes to Combat Assault Dog Spider from the U.S. Army Special Operations Forces. CAD Spider was killed in action on May 13, 2010, but his actions saved the lives of his handler and other soldiers. Here is his amazing story.
Hello, I'm retired Master Sergeant on Bravery, 10 years with the USSR Canine program. I picked up Spider first in 2009, my second dog in the program. Spider was trained for Indian prehension as well as explosive detection. Typical day for training for us ranged between basic canine training, mission-specific training, and full mission profile scenarios. Spider was incredibly easy dog to work. It was evident from the beginning that his eagerness to work and please would fit in well with his officer and mitigate any threats possible overseas. My duty was the calm dog with every action, strive to one. He made my job easy. His best attributes was he was easy and switched back and forth between work and play. You hang out with him, play with him, then you switch it back on and go to work and community. Spider was killed on May 13, 2010. Operation close to Congress, Afghanistan. I was not there that day as they went home to celebrate the birth of my daughter. My team leader took out Spider in the effort to keep him working, keep him going until I got back to finish the deployment of my soldier. On infill, the assault force took some launch fire after a brief firefight. Spider was called forward to clear a small field, chest-like grass. Encountering multiple enemy combatants, being recorded handler, assault force dispatch units, enemies along the route. Toward the end of the field, close to the target building, final enemy combatant that's finally located, stood up and shot AK automatic fire towards Spider and his whole team. Spider was struck. The assault team immediately dispatched that enemy combatant and then took grenade frag from the side. A team leader joined the aid. When the aid was finished, he returned back to Spider and seen that Spider had succumbed to his injuries. Spider's action saved the lives of his teammates. Spider's dedication and companionship will be deeply missed by his teammates and Spider receiving this award means so much to me. He was recognized by his unit and by the country for his life-saving actions on target. I may not have been with him today. I'm honored to receive this award for him. Thank you.
When the enemy revealed himself by engaging with Spider and his handler, the unit was able to take him down. If it wasn't for the bravery and selfless actions of Spider, his team members would not have had time to react. For his exceptional actions, we are very proud to award Combat Assault Dog Spider with our Animals of War and Peace Friendly Bravery number 20. Thank you, Spider, for your incredible devotion, service, and sacrifice with the U.S. Army Special Operations Command.
Joining him is, my mistake. Congresswoman Jen Kiggins. She'll say a few words and present them.
Well, thank you. It's just a privilege to be able to share that story. I mean, it's a remarkable story, and I know that you are proud of Spido, as we all are, and I think that just this medal just symbolizes his bravery and your relationship, your friendship, and hopefully just allows you to just honor him in his memory. But thank you so much for your service and sacrifice.
United States Army 95th Military Police MWD Detachment, Joint Base Lewis McCord. Minto was killed in action on June 19, 2019. Here is his amazing story.
I am Sergeant Hunter Locke. I was assigned to the 95th Military Working Dog Detachment on Joint Base Lewis McCord, where I was assigned military working dog Minto. Minto was a 56-pound Belgian mountain long. He was a patrol explosive detector dog. His primary focus was control aggression and patrol work alongside explosive detection. So Minto was more than just a canine partner. We got along very well from the beginning, minus the few times that he did bite me. But it was what he was trained to do. Luckily, he was a very good explosive detection dog as well. So ultimately, having both those assets on lock, it was probably one of the best dogs that I've seen within this program in a very long time. So Minto and I were assigned to a special operations team in Syria. We were there to assist in fighting against the hostile forces in that region of the country. Once we got word of where the enemy combatants were located, we bolted. Utilizing our SDF forces, we essentially made entry into this building. As soon as they made entry, that's when the small arms fire came out. At that point, everything is kind of a blur. The adrenaline rush at that moment, all the gunfire going around, screaming. Few of the partner forces were hit pretty bad alongside Minto. At that point, once the chaos had ended, I was checking myself, making sure I was good. This time I hadn't really noticed that I was hit or anything, but I did take some shrapnel to the face and to my left arm. As I looked over, looked down to my side, I saw Minto laying face first in the dirt, and that's when I had that moment of what just happened. Kneeled down next to him, check him out, see if he was okay, and that's when I rolled him over, heard him take his last breath. It definitely broke me for a second there, but luckily the team I was with, they were very supportive. They helped me get through the hard time. After that, I just had to do what I had to do to keep me busy, so I helped out with the medics, providing first aid to some of the other casualties that we had on the mission. I do know that at the end of the day, if it wasn't for his sacrifice, if it wasn't for him, there's no telling what would have happened during that operation that day. He definitely saved some portion of me when he went. I know if I was maybe one step to my left, probably wouldn't have half of my leg right now. So I do thank him for that. Unfortunately, I do miss him on a day-to-day. It doesn't cross my mind at least once where I don't think about him. He was a good dog. He's probably one of the best dogs I've had. And nobody compared to him.
During his time in service, Minto conducted over 20 U.S. Secret Service missions, 30 VIP sweeps, 3,456 hours of law enforcement to JBL, and 2 deployments to Soto Air Base in the Middle East. His actions saved the lives of his handler and soldiers involved during the assault. For his brave actions, we are honored to award MWD Minto B527 with the Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery number 22. God bless you, Minto, for your unwavering devotion, service, and sacrifice with the U.S. Army 95th Military Working Ground Detachment, Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Please welcome General Sarah Albright and Sergeant Major Gary Don Lavalier and Sergeant Hunter Loud, Minto's handler, to receive the medal from Congresswoman Kiggins.
Well, congratulations to Minto and to all of you. You can tell what a special dog he was, and just his dedication and the relationship that you have with him. I mean, it's really remarkable to watch, and we're certainly grateful for his service and for your sacrifice. But again, I hope that this serves just as a memory to him and in his honor.
I was also glad to read the speech today. We'll roll with it. Big thanks to Staff Sergeant Chamo for submitting this medal for Minto. Big thanks to Master Sergeant Adams for also helping out with that. I appreciate it a lot. Big thanks to my mom and my dad for being here today. Couldn't be here without them. Definitely a hard time telling them what happened, but my mom's kind of been through it. Dad was K9 handler for 14 years, kind of why I went through it as well. Big thanks to my wife for being flexible. Big journey for her, marrying into a military family. Appreciate all the other supports. I mentioned Leviathan, keep doing great things for our phenomenal program.
very humbling, and it's an opportunity for us to kind of take a step back and realize the importance it is for us to make sure that we're training these full-time working dogs and canines to the best of our ability and trusting them when the time counts. And not only that, but taking them and taking care of them, you know, on and off duty. It's our responsibility as handlers to do that. And again, personal thank you to the staff, to the team that is doing this incredible ceremony, to senior leaders across the Department of Defense, our clearing agency partners, our law enforcement, and even the public, just for taking the time to recognize these American heroes, to realize what they're doing. And again, just thank you again.
She said all those words. I mean, these amazing dogs, how blessed are we to get to serve alongside them in whatever fashion we do. You can look and say, what makes that animal run toward danger? You could say it's the exquisite training or the amazing ability of their handlers, but I think what you heard today, when you see these dogs, their handlers, and hear their stories, they're running toward danger because of love. They love their handlers, they have an incredible bond, and we in the Army know just how important they are to us to be able to accomplish the mission. They do it in so many different ways, with our special operations community, our engineer community, doing bomb dog detection, and then these dogs in the military, they go from really police work on base camp and station, to traveling with the Secret Service, to going places like Iraq and Afghanistan, Syria, wherever they are called. It is an amazing privilege to work alongside them, and I really just want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to honor them today. Thank you.
Thank you, General Albright, for being here, and thank you, Hunter, for flying in from South Korea to be here tonight to honor your hero. It's really something special. All right, so our last medal of the evening is number 32. Got it? Our last medal for tonight is SOF Canine Conan, receiving Medal of Bravery number 23. Conan passed away in November of 2023 of cancer and injuries sustained during his service. Here is his heroic story.
Hello, my name is Travis Roberts. I recently retired out of the Army after 21 years of service. 7 years of that, from 2015 to 2023, I was a canine handler in USASOC. That's where I met and was paired up with my first work dog. His name was Conan. We became a team in 2015 while I was in the Canine Handlers course. I deployed 5 times with Conan. Throughout those 5 deployments, Conan engaged multiple enemy personnel inside the building and also outside, hiding. During training, I rappelled down the Hoover Dam with Conan at night. It's about 600 feet down the front of the dam, and we got to the bottom and assaulted the interior of the structure. That was probably the coolest training event I did with him. In 2019, my unit was called upon to conduct a no-notice presidentially directed raid deep in the heart of northwest Syria to capture or kill the leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. He was the head of the caliphate. He was known as the mastermind to numerous atrocities across the world for the rise of ISIS in Iraq and Syria, and for the capture, rape, and torture of American citizen Caleb Mueller. He was the #1 target on our watch list. And when we finally pinned him down and found out where he was, we were extremely fortunate to be a part of the team that got the call. October 26, 2019, we loaded helicopters and flew to the target area. First thing we did was isolate the building, which doesn't allow anyone to leave or to come into the target area. Once the building was isolated, began to try to call out guys that were inside the structure to come out and surrender. Told them they were surrounded and forces to come out. Most of them didn't want to come out, they wanted to fight, and they were dealt with we still didn't have Baghdadi at this time. So before we actually initiated the assault, we heard a large but muffled explosion that sounded like it was underground. And we figured that we maybe wore an S-vest, suicide vest, and we figured that's what we had heard. So once that explosion went off, we determined that it was time to enter the building and assault the building and find Baghdadi. Something that's not very well known is we actually had 2 dogs on target that night, and we used them simultaneously to clear the structure in front of the assault force. So we sent 1 dog into a breach on one side of the building and sent Conan into a breach on the other side of the building, and they worked in opposite directions to clear the structure. Once we cleared the structure, we noticed a large hole in the ground where the explosion had caused the floor to collapse. Water was pouring in from the ceiling because the explosion had broken the plumbing pipes, and the hole was beginning to fill with water. The team leader on the ground basically said, let's get the dog in there, and let's clear the dog first. I hooked up Conan on a long line, which is a 25-foot leash. I hooked it to his vest, and I lowered him down into the hole, and I had a camera that I could monitor to see what he sees or what he comes into contact with. I lowered him in there and told him to search, and as he began to move, I could still see from about his back hips to his tail, and he fell over and was shaking violently on the ground. I wasn't sure if he was shot or had injured himself some other way, but I started to drag him back with a long line, and he was laying on his side, just convulsing. So I get him out of the hole, and I told the team leader that I thought there was a chance that he got electrocuted, which ended up being what had happened. So when Baghdadi blew himself up, he had broken plumbing, and the explosion caused live wires to fall down simultaneously as the water was pouring into the tunnel, which basically caused a pool of water that was basically had electricity running through it. So when Conan entered the water, he was electrocuted to the point of knocking him unconscious. So at this point, we were able to call a team outside the building, and they cut all the power to the building, and it allowed our guys to get down. Conan kind of started to come back to, and was still groggy and not acting completely normal, but he was back on his feet, and which was a good sign. After they conducted a search, they found out that there was indeed Baghdadi blowing himself up with a suicide vest in that time. We were able to recover his remains and positively identify him. And that was a great feeling to all of us to know that we were successful in the mission.
Conan recovered from his injuries and returned to field duty shortly after the raid. On November 25th, 2019, Conan and members of the Special Operations Team were invited to the White House to be honored by President Trump, Vice President Pence, and the world. President Trump presented Conan with the Presidential Recognition Award. And today, we are so very proud to award SOF K9 Conan with the Animals and War and Peace Medal of Bravery number 23. God bless you, Conan, for your dedication, devotion, bravery, and service with the U.S. Army Special Operations Command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Travis Roberts, Conan's handler, to the front to receive Conan's Medal of Bravery 23. And again, Congresswoman Jen Kiggins, who I will say is the co-chair of the new Bipartisan Working Dog Caucus, which aims to promote the positive impact of working dogs and support federal policies that advance their integration in law enforcement, military, and mental health
privilege to have that position as well. But gosh, thank you for sharing the story of Conan, and you can tell just how brave in that special relationship. I didn't know that story, that they had used dogs in that mission. So, and it's just an amazing story to tell and for all of us to share. But I hope this small token just allows you to preserve his memory and just remember the friendship and the special just bond that the two of you shared. So thank you and congratulations.
Well, thank you, Robin, for putting this on. This is an incredible event. These dogs don't get recognized enough, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of it. I'd like to thank my buddy Ray Paul here, who, when we found out Conan had cancer, he has a foundation called An Honor of Duke Project, and he basically, when I called him and said that Conan was going down a bad path and that we needed to get treatment, he took care of Conan, and got him the treatment he needed to allow my wife and kids to come see him one last time. We were actually traveling in an RV, and a good buddy of mine had adopted Conan for us while we were gone, and we were across the country. And along with taking care of all of his medical requirements, he also flew our family out to say goodbye. So thank you. We'll forever be grateful for that. I want to thank the trainers at my work. They wanted to be here today, but I'm sure they're laying in a field or hiding in a dark building right now, waiting for a dog to come through the breach and engage them. They care so much about us as handlers and about the assaulters that they put in countless hours getting bit, eating breaches and flashbangs and being around gunfire, all to make these dogs the warriors they are, to protect us. All right, someone cutting onions in here or what? I want to thank my wife, Tara, for being by my side for all these years. Countless deployments and training trips, and you know, we have 6 kids. 2 of them aren't here, they're 9-month-old twin boys, but when I told her I wanted to bring this dog home to retire him, after years of telling her how absolutely insane he was, she trusted me enough and grew to love Conan as well. To Vivian and Harlow, Cash and Millie, thank you for loving him and giving him the life he deserved in retirement. It's an honor to be here, and thank you again, Robin. I appreciate it.
Travis. And I will say the second dog that was also on that raid did make it home. He's living in retirement with his animal. So that was also very, I love the stories. I learned stuff that I never knew, so that was really cool. I am just overwhelmed with love and pride and emotion that has filled this room tonight. We want to thank all of our medalists and their incredible families and handlers and distinguished guests that were here tonight. We are truly blessed to be here and be in your presence, and we are so very grateful for your sacrifice and your service to your country. Can we have another volunteers, especially Congresswoman Kiggins, who came and was able to be here tonight and took time out of this crazy day to be here and honor our heroes tonight. So now you've seen Chris Willingham at presenting the medals, but I'd like to call him up and have him say something about U.S. War Dogs. Chris has been retired after 20 years of faithful service with the United States Marine Corps, dedicated the majority of his career, of course, to the military working dog program, and served in key billets as a canine handler and canine program manager. And he's now the president of U.S. War Dogs. Go ahead, everybody, Chris.
Thank you, Ms. Coffin. First of all, I'd like to say just we truly appreciate the partnership and being a part of this sports circle in the last 5 years. It's an incredible honor. I always leave here inspired, get these different stories, and we can't thank you enough for this opportunity. Just to kind of give you an overview of what the West War Dogs is all about. It was established in 2000 by 5 Vietnam dog handlers. So we're in our 25th anniversary of Vietnam Conference for the military working dog community. Those 5 dog handlers, they didn't serve together. They represented 3 branches of service, and they met at a reunion. And they said they want to come together and create an organization. They want to raise money for a monument to honor war dogs. That was in 2000. The next year, 9/11 happened, and our generation started deploying, and they started supporting dog handlers who were being forward deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan. Chuck Rookberry, who was the vice president, and myself, we were both on the receiving end of those care packages, and Ron Aiello, who was a long-time president and one of the first scout dog handlers to serve in Vietnam, one of my biggest mentors and friends. Their generation wanted to make sure that what happened to them would happen to us when it came to homecomings, when it came to that support that they provided us. Now, what happened after 9/11 is it turned into a life cycle of practical support. So from the time the dogs are active duty, we send care packages over. We still do that. Last year we sent 250 care packages to dog teams served around the world. When the dog retires, we have a military working dog service medal to honor that dog's service. Comes with a dog bed, some treats, and if you ask for it, some meals for the dog to relax in retirement. And then the biggest impact we have is in retirement. So as you all heard, as you all understand, these dogs don't receive the VA benefits of the veterans. We select these dogs, we train them, we utilize them. When the dogs go into their service, thanks to the Robbie Law in 2000, the handler can adopt them, but all the financial responsibility falls on that handler. And we all here are veterans understand that you live paycheck to paycheck and you don't serve for money. But you're going to do everything you can to take care of that working dog because they mean the world to you. There's nothing can beat that bond between a dog and his handler. And so now you got these dogs, since 2016, we've saved veteran owners $1.8 billion in prescription medications alone. And the only program that we added, because every program was a conversation between a board member, which you have to be a military working dog handler, serve as a board member, and it came from a board member and the active duty dog handlers. One of my Marines was out in Yuma, Arizona, and his dog had to have emergency surgery. We didn't have a program in place at that time to help him out. And so a GoFundMe for him, and I contributed, but we had to put our infrastructure together. We started supporting these emergency care programs and supporting those emergency cases. We got to drop a lot of money in a short amount of time. In the first year, we did $41,000. We started talking about social media, did $111,000 the next year. And then last year, we did over $170,000 in those emergency situations. And I haven't seen a GoFundMe since for retired military working dogs. And we take them all the way to the end. So we take care of real-life care for these dogs. They end up across the Rainbow Bridge. And I'm telling you, from Chuck, myself, and the rest of the members of the U.S. War Dog Association, we're incredibly honored to be here. We truly appreciate this opportunity, and K9 leads the way.
Thank you, Chris. We're so proud to have you be a part of this wonderful celebration. So now I need to also thank our sponsors, and I'll do this really quickly because I know we're running a little late. But we have gold sponsor Tim T.T. Day Foundation, who has supported our organizations for years, even some of the monuments for surgeon practice. We also have another gold sponsor here, Tony Mulligan from Hydraulics. You'll hear from him in a moment. We have silver sponsors, Gary and Mary West, Lee and Ramona Bass, and Martha and Stephen Peterson, who have been with us for several years now. Bronze sponsors, we have K9 Hurricanes Heroes, Deborah Service Getter, Med Vet, Corps League, Detachment 1062, and 3 Pearls Charities. We are so honored to have you all join us and support this year after year. We're just very, very grateful for this, and we're very, very proud to have you with us tonight. I'd now like to call up Tony Mulligan and say a few words from Hydronics. Hydronics is a high-technology company specializing in extreme performance, small unmanned vehicles for both air and water. In fact, several of his vehicles are named after Reckless. You can see his wonderful banner up there by the water station. So thank you, Tony, for being with us here tonight.
Thanks, Robin. I'm Tony Mulligan. My wife Lynn's with me. It's a strange way of the world of life that we're here right now, second time. We developed robots for the Marine Corps in the water. And the Marine Corps had this affinity for one of our platforms that they named Reckless, after Sergeant Reckless, and which was a pretty scary thing for us, like why would we name a product Reckless? But then I had the luck of meeting Robin and got her endorsement of what we were doing, because I didn't want to pick up a name, if the people who were really doing it. And then I discovered something far cooler, and that was her organization and all of you people, the things that you guys do. My wife and I love animals also. And all we have to do is write a check, which we're going to gladly do. And but we're just so amazed by all of you. You guys are the ones that are really doing it all. And thank you so much for loving your dogs as much as you do. We just think that's beautiful. So thank you very much, and keep it up.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Lynn, for joining in tonight. I also need to take a moment here to thank our Animals of War and Peace nominating and advisory boards for their guidance, support, thoughtful selection to this year's nominations. We had 25 nominations come in this year. It was a tough, tough decision to make. Many of our group is here tonight. I just ask you to stand up so we can really thank you all for being here. And I'd also like to thank the volunteers that we have, Colleen Moore and Olivia and Addison Koisman, who joined us outside and was helping seat you guys. So please stand up, board members, and give a round of applause. This event could not happen without all of the work that they did. And we had everybody working, putting out artifacts, putting up the certificates, putting up the banners. It was absolutely amazing. So thank you, Team AWP, from the bottom of my heart. So before I conclude this evening, I just want to announce that the nomination period for our 2026 ceremony is now open until August 31st. If you know of any cool dogs or any animals, dolphins, pigeons, whatever, please send them our way. Horses, we love them, and we try to honor them in the best way that we can. And I want to make sure that everybody, the medal winners know, and the sponsors, and to stay close. We're going to take pictures at the end. And then we're going to have a party at the Holiday Inn, National Mall. Everybody's invited. Please join us to raise a toast to all of these wonderful heroes. And I thank you very much. God bless you, and we'll see you next year.
I'm gonna get Marshall. Get Marshall. You're all big. Hey, Marshall, try to bring him over this way if you can. Up to him? Look it up. Yep.